The man was buried in his car by a mudslide. He pulled out a hollow tube from a folding chair, then carefully inserted it into the hole in the sunroof. After confirming that neither side of the glass was cracked, he began to push the hollow steel tube upward with force. Suddenly a rush of muddy water flowed into the hollow tube. The man was so startled that he retreated repeatedly, quickly pulling out the already inserted steel tube. Immediately grabbed some old newspapers and rubbed them in his palms. After twisting them into thin strips, he stuffed them into the hole to seal all the gaps. This finally stopped the muddy water from continuing to flow in. He looked at his failure unwillingly, because this step was crucial to his survival. However, at this moment, a nearby bottle of mineral water caught his attention. Quickly unscrewing the cap, used a nail clipper to poke a hole in it. Then he threaded a thin string through it. Next tied a dead knot with his mouth, pulled out the excess string, and secured the dead knot tightly on the bottle cap. Finally he threaded the thin string through the steel tube, using the bottle cap to seal the hollow part. Looking at his creation, the man couldn't help but laugh out loud. He then started working busily again, following the previous steps. He once again inserted the steel tube into the hole in the sunroof. As he continued to push it in, everything was going very smoothly, but soon the man could no longer smile, because the 1 meter long steel tube was almost completely swallowed by the soil. This indicated that the buried position was much farther from the surface than he had anticipated, so he took out another tube and repeated the previous steps, using wire to thread the string through to the other end, connecting the joints. Finally used tape to firmly secure the two separated steel tubes, but compared to the first two, this time it was obviously much more difficult. He had to use all his strength to push it upward. Seeing that had already used the third tube, the man realized how dire his situation was, but at this point, he could only speed up to escape as soon as possible. However, in this confined space, oxygen was already severely lacking. In addition, the man had consumed a lot of physical energy. Soon he felt short of breath, so he had to use a jack to prop it up first. Sure enough, with the help of the tool, efficiency improved significantly. The man could also take a moment to rest, but it wasn't long before he discovered another problem. Even though the jack had been extended to its limit, the steel tube still hadn't penetrated the soil to reach the surface. Helplessly he draped a towel over his shoulder. Then get down on your stomach where the jacks are. As his body kept pushing upward, the steel tube was disappearing at a visible speed. Suddenly he felt a lightness in his shoulder. After relaxing his body, to verify his thoughts, he found a piece of wire and inserted it into the steel tube. As he pushed it in inch by inch, his heart trembled with each inch, until he felt a bit of resistance on the wire. He thrust it upward forcefully, then he quickly pulled out the wire, eagerly putting his face close to it. Through the hollow tube, he finally saw a glimmer of light.